Well, good morning, and we're here today to be embracing privacy and security, so there are no fears, and it's going to be improving your business. The takeaways from today are going to be: valuables need to be maintained. Security is like layers of an onion. Need to include privacy and security and confidentiality into your culture. And if you do all that, you're certainly going to be a long way towards protecting your brand and protecting your reputation. So, what do these things have in common? Wonderful vehicle, nice home, a computer, a mobile device, all your computer network gear, your printer, your multifunction printer. They all require regular maintenance. So take your car, for example. Of course, you're going to want to protect its value by making sure you have oil changes and your performance is good by having your regular checks on your spark plugs and all that other kind of stuff. You're going to want to have rust-proof done on your car. For your home, you're going to want to protect that asset, reduce your risk by ensuring that you're shoveling your driveway and not letting ice build up. During the winter, you're going to have to replace your roof, maybe some landscaping, all that towards preserving the value of your asset and ensuring that you can enjoy it and get the value out of it as you move through its use. Smartphones. Well, we've heard a little bit about smartphones. Yeah, all of this equipment needs to be maintained on a regular basis. They all have software in them. We all know what software is. We also know it as applications. And they're written by people. They all have bugs. They have functional bugs, so things don't work like they're supposed to work functionally. They all have bugs in them, as in security bugs, ways that hackers can find ways to get into things. And patching is a way of for the vendor to update his software, correct his software, and to fix the things that are wrong, that they know are wrong. And oh, by the way, they might add a functional improvement here or there, which will disguise the fact that they really need to get this new patch out to fix some security problems. Because they're not going to tell you exactly what the security problems are that they fix. But trust me, they're there and they're there all the time. So by ensuring that all of this equipment is properly patched, maintained on a regular basis, you're not only ensuring that you don't have unpredictable things happen, such as my changes don't seem to be there, they kind of disappeared, and then you're kind of losing productivity there, but also ensuring that with all those regular patches that your applications are running as smoothly and you are as productive as you can be and you're as secure as you can be. And other than doing the patching work, you don't need to be concerned about anything else there. Smartphones and computers, they all have software that needs to be patched, including the device drivers. Device driver, even for this, would need to be patched. Connection between the computer, the wireless, and your multifunction printer. The printer itself has software in it that runs it. It's got scanning capability like all multifunction printers. All these devices have memory. They all store your corporate data. So even when you want to move to the latest and greatest smartphone, well, guess what? All your corporate data is on there. When you want to get rid of all your network gear, well, all of your key security information is all in that network gear. So you can't just throw it out, coming back to what was said earlier. You have to dispose of all of that stuff in a secure way. Like maybe taking your drill and putting it through the hard drive if you want. But certainly I would caution against taking your smartphone and giving it to somebody else to use, because, well, they hardly, the old technology is fine for them to use. What corporate data is being left? What business data is being left on that device that other person has no idea about? Doesn't care. The phone gets lost, someone picks it up, and all of a sudden you've compromised your data. And coming back to a comment made earlier this morning about going through the garbage. For your own personal life and for your business life, make sure you shred all that information that has any sort of number on it. Any invoice, any bill, any even meeting minutes potentially, because they've got people's names and company names, and shred it, shred it, shred it. And I don't mean the company, I mean buy a simple little shredder. Have it in your office. Yes, then you can recycle the paper. Make sure you shred it before it goes outside of your own four walls. quick story about not maintaining things properly. I didn't own that as my first vehicle, but I had a really cheap vehicle as my first vehicle.
But you have that now? Oh, good job.
It's on my checklist to have done. And I didn't maintain it. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't get it rust-proofed. I didn't think I needed oil changes. I didn't think I needed a lot of stuff. At the end of the day, I misdrove the car. I never was in an accident, but I can tell you it depreciated much more quickly, and I had to get rid of it a lot faster than I wish I had of, all by ignoring all the basic things about maintaining a car. And that's just a simple way of explaining. The same is absolutely true for all of your computer equipment, and you know it's the same for your home as well. So security is like layers of an onion. And you can see here that the circles do not kind of spiral in together. They're all separate, but they all have a function, and they all work together, and the outside layers help protect the inside. And generally speaking, everything that you do on the outside is less expensive than when you get on the inside. The more inside you get, the more expensive it gets to do. But some of the things are really simple. For example, policies, process, and procedures. What does it cost you? Nothing but your time. Nothing but your time. And a policy can be as simple as no one has access to the key to my office or my building after hours except me. If anyone goes in after hours, I got to know about it. That's policy. It can be that simple, or it can be complicated. So getting some handle on your policies and what you want for policies is really important to start with, and it ties in with what everyone else has said about policies. The next is the physical layer. So I have policies. Now, okay, who has access to the building? Who has access to my office? Who has access to my office filing cabinet? Is there a lock on it? No lock on it? What about if you're in a large building, an office door? Then the desk drawers and the filing cabinets. Who has access to all that stuff? When it comes to the computer equipment, for example, where's that stored? Is it stored underneath your desk because you're a small organization, you've got to, everything's on your one notebook, maybe it's on the top of your desk. But if you're 2 or 3 people and you've got one common, I'll call it a file server, but it's just a computer that serves common information to everybody, is that stored underneath the desk? Is it stored in a secure place? How much dust is getting to it? One thing about computer equipment is hot and cold and water. All are bad things for computer devices, smartphones, printers, servers, firewalls. If you take, in the winter, your laptop out of your car on a minus 40-degree day and bring it inside and use it right away, it will, in fact, lessen the life of that machine, and it will, in fact, ultimately cause unknown interruptions in service if it happens too frequently. Same with a device that's too hot. If a computer gets too hot, it will start to break down the components within the circuit boards if it happens too frequently, and it will lessen the value of your asset. You won't get the true value out of that asset over time. The other thing I wanted to mention about temperature is that I've seen situations in computer rooms, server closets, or even in a small little office where you've got the computer underneath your desk, where it's all dirty, crowded with all kinds of files and things around it. There's no airflow, therefore the computer naturally will heat up. And with it being on the floor, you've got dust possibilities from the carpet and all kinds of, in your own home, all sorts of dust all over the place, ultimately builds up. The fan sucks that dusty air in and gets coated all over the equipment, and in fact, over time, dust builds up and stops airflow within the computers. So just keeping your computer off the floor, especially if you have a home office in the basement, what happens if you have a flood in the basement? Now all of a sudden your computer's going to be fried and isn't going to be any good. So that's a little bit about physical security. Perimeter security, well, within technology, it starts with a firewall. And firewalls are obviously very important, as the name implies. But technically, some of the things we've heard about VPN, we've heard about wireless. Also, increasingly, you've got phones that use your computer network, voice over IP phones, very much more inexpensive than the old form of phone technology. But from a security perspective, you need to make sure that that traffic is isolated. And oh, by the way, do you have a guest Wi-Fi for your location? Because that guest Wi-Fi, you have to make sure that it is isolated from the rest of your Wi-Fi traffic. Otherwise, who's ever on your Wi-Fi will have access to your whole corporate network, or your business entity, if you will, all those files. So meeting rooms and all that sort of thing, absolutely make sure that the Wi-Fi is isolated. So then you get to the switches and the servers, which are kind of some of the backbone of an IT infrastructure. But even in your small little office, that wireless, that Bluetooth connection, that's part of the network that connects all of those pieces. So they all need patching, and they all need regular patching. The vendors are regularly putting out patches for known security bugs. Servers, same thing. Servers are just big computers running operating systems with programs running on them. They need to be patched. And you can see there's a whole pile of things to be patched. This is where your IT service provider, your managed IT service provider, is ideally the best to be able to address that for you, whether it's simple or complex. Application security. So now QuickBooks, Quicken, any ERP solution you might be running, any CRM application you might be running, all those applications have functional changes that they make, functional fixes that they put in. They also have security breaches, security bugs that they need to fix. So keeping your applications current is critical. Whether it's an Oracle-based, if you're in a big corporation, or an SAP or a CRM or any of that kind of stuff, all of that is the issue. And of course, data security, coming back to what Claudia does, as soon as you get all of your HR information together, it's really easy to identify what's been breached, if you've been breached. Culture, security, and privacy. So you need to put all three of those things together. If you can make security, confidentiality, privacy part of your culture, it will go a long, long way to making sure that every decision that is made within your business is going to be thinking about security, confidentiality, and privacy. Something as simple as a visitor sign-in registry. So I go in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I can tell you everybody that was there all day. And then I can take a little picture of that in my phone, and now I know more about that business. Maybe if I'm going in to deliver a bid, I can tell the 3 other people that were in earlier that day to bid on that project. Now I know more about what's going on. You wouldn't think that could, be an issue to your business, but it could be. And building culture with security and privacy into everything you do, every process you do, every question you have, every issue you have, every client interaction you have, will go a long way. I think it's like CPR. Everyone needs CPR training for your health and safety as part of your business. Well, so is building in culture, security and privacy into your culture. It's just good part of business is good part of your life. So when you lose your brand or your reputation, the business is lost. Your customer is never going to truly trust you again. We all know that this used to be a functional way of doing business. We were able to efficiently get things from place to place. But now we know there's a better way. Now we know that this isn't scalable. How could you add more to that pile? We also know this is full of risk. So by addressing security, confidentiality, and privacy into everything you do, we'll make sure that we're stepping outside of what we find being comfortable. So don't worry, tomorrow the sun's going to come up, we're going to have nice fresh water. You've got some practical things that you know how to do. We've addressed the importance of doing regular maintenance on all of your IT equipment. We've addressed layers of the onion, so at least make sure the front door is locked so that no one's going to get in. Adding security, confidentiality, and privacy to your culture will go a long, 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 long way to ensuring that your customers are being looked after and your business is being looked after just naturally by everything you do. And if you do all that, then your reputation and your brand will be protected. And there's my contact information. Thank you.